All right, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna go through the question with you. You will have a test on Monday about this, about the Riemann sum.
Monday?
Yeah. Why, you don't like Monday test? I'll think about it, but right now it's planned on Monday. But there was a possibility the printer is broken, according to Greenwald. Unplug it. Well, it's not working.
Tuesday.
I will show other two periods Monday.
We can get it.
All right. I'll think about it. I don't know yet. All right. So, a lot of people did question 2 wrong. And the reason why you did question 2 wrong, you did not use the right value. So because of midpoint, a lot of people say I have problem with midpoints. So, you can see my screen. Better. Okay. A lot of people says. At least when people come after school tutoring, they didn't know how to do 2. So I'll kind of show you very quickly how would I do 2. Basically, if you have a function and it's basically 25, this is 25 minus x squared, this should end up to be 5 like this. You do not use 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You don't not use those height. If you use a height, that's not midpoint. By the way, it's not midpoint. So you have to use the middle of the 2. So if I would do x, y like this, I do not do a lot. I see a lot of people do this. How many of you guys did this? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's not correct. Because 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is only for the left endpoint or right endpoint or trapezoid. It should have used the point between those values because this is what each things, right? Each space, right? So you should use the middle of 2 values. So in this case, it's going to be half. It's the first value. 3/2 is the second value. So 1.5, 2.5, 3.5, and 4.5. How many people did this? Raise your hand. If you did this, you did it right. Good job. And then you can use a calculator. So guys, I'm gonna teach you how to use a calculator also, because no calculator on test, but I'm gonna teach you how to use a calculator. So you're gonna type in f of x rather than y, and you're gonna say it's equal to 25 minus x squared, and then you can just click the wrench button and table, and just do 1/2, or you can do 0.5, and you can do 1.5, 2.5, 3.5, 4.5, and then wait, okay, 4.5, yeah. So you can use those multiplied by the 1, and then you will get the right value. However, a lot of people did not do that. A lot of people use 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You cannot use 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is not a product of midpoints. Okay, so that's one of them. That's how you get a correct answer. So when you do it in homework, you gotta figure out, hey, I didn't do it right. What's wrong with the homework? Okay. So that's number 2. So number 4 is drawing. I draw the right endpoint. You gotta learn how to draw, Because if you join correctly, you can figure out are they over approximation or they are under approximation. Are we good? Number 6. This is where people get kind of confused. They say, Mystery, I don't understand what this question is asking. I will have a graph. I'm gonna, based on those two things, I'm gonna sketch the graph. A lot of you guys don't understand sketching graph is more important than a lot of situation. A lot of time, drawing the picture to solve a problem, it's actually, you can take care of a lot of math problems. So f of x greater than 0, what does that mean? That means it's positive. That means above x-axis. Now, what's f prime of x is less than 0, Jacob?
F prime of x is less than 0 means that the graph is decreasing. Yep, that's what I drew on my paper.
Okay, so then if you realize that it's decreasing and they are those three aspects, there was a small value, big value, and middle value. The biggest value has to be the left endpoint. You don't have to draw a lot, right? You can see that that's the biggest value. You can see that right is going to be the least amount of value. And you can see the middle point is probably going to be like this. It's going to be between middle, so it's going to be like this. Does that make sense? So it's right in between. So therefore, this one is left, this one's right, this one's middle, and that's how do you decide that? Now, how do I justify? You can say f prime x is less than 0. That's it. That's it. Because f prime of x is less than 0. Now let me remind you today. On Monday, you will have Monday test. A Monday test. On Monday test, you're gonna have you might have to compare with a trapezoid. Now, in order the trapezoid works, is you have to understand that trapezoid is based on concavity rather than, so it's based on f double prime of x is less than 0 or greater than 0. So you have to understand that. If I ask you a question, you have to say, if it's a trapezoid, you have to say, oh yeah, it's because concave up or concave down. And by drawing, you can tell are they over or under approximation. Question 7. So a swimming pool with 30-foot put, 50-foot long. So they are different depths throughout the whole way. So they can find out the depth. So they say using a midpoint rule. So you're gonna have to use 8.2 times the height. The height is what? What's the height? 10. Oh, the depth is 8.2, but the position is the distance between here is 10. Plus 9.9 times 10 plus 11 times 10 plus 11.9 times 10 plus 12.7 times 10, because the midpoint is not trapezoid. Okay, yes.
If they all have like an equal, if they all have the equal position, they cannot put the 10 on the outside to make it easier.
Yeah, of course.
I think that's 9.8.
9.9.
I think it's 2 times.
No, well, part B, a lot of you guys don't understand this. So Like imagine that this is this side, right? Imagine that this circle is this side right here. This is called lateral, the lateral side. Now, if you want to find the volume of this swimming pool, you have to multiply this lateral by the length here. So then you'll find out the whole swimming pool. Because all you gotta do is find out this area. And this is actually the only area I can do that. Okay, you cannot find the top multiplied by it will be a rectangular prism. Because this is a weird shape of this pool, this lateral side is the most important side. You just have to multiply how far is it. Then you find the value. Does that make sense or not?
Say that again, please.
Okay, imagine that this side is right here. Right, this is this. And you just, if you want to find out the volume of this, just take this lateral area, multiply by the length, which is the 30 feet. And so this only side I can do that. You cannot do it from the top side. Because top side, if you multiply by the depth is different. This only side is uniform. If you every time you cut, it's gonna be exact same shapes, same slice of shapes. So that take this, multiply by the length, 30. Yes.
So 50 feet, it's like already included in what we just did.
Yeah, 50 feet has nothing to do with anything. It's actually to throw you off. Because you want a lateral side. You don't want to use this side and multiply. This doesn't make sense, right? You want to use this side of the cylinder. Or, I don't know, any other type of shape that you can find. Yes.
Is that for all of the shapes or just like?
Yeah, that just say today I have, I don't know. I have
Isn't that like the piston washer thing that we were doing?
yeah, later on you're gonna have to deal with that too. Think about if you have this, right? Like imagine you have a gold brick, right? I think gold brick looks like this. I don't know. I never have a gold brick before. Lian's from Saudi, they might have gold brick there. You have that at home?
So casually, I have that.
Yeah. So let's go break, right? So this is the area you want to find to figure out a value because you can take this and figure out how long to go break. But you cannot figure out the top side to figure out how depth is because that's going to be uniform depth. But this side is every time you cut, it's going to be a trapezoid. But if you cut it this way, like cut a slice of gold brick on the top, that each slice of the brick is getting bigger. So that's not a way to find a value. You want to find this lateral area and to find out that lateral area and multiply the length of the gold brick. We can go Lian's house, look at her gold brick. Okay. She probably likes princess of some Saudi. No. No. I wish. All right. Questions? Now on the Monday's test, you're also gonna worry about.
Did you say Teresa? Yeah, that's prefer.
Okay, so what if I says I want to find integration from 2 to 12 of this function, and this is the function, the table, and using let's say trapezoid rule. Now I want you to pay attention to where do you think people will mess up?
Spacing.
What?
Wouldn't it just be in the spacing of it?
Spacing. Good.
Yeah, so from like it's gonna be 3 from 2 to 5, and then you have another 2. It's gonna be 3 and then 2, and then it's gonna be 5. People are gonna try to put the same thing.
Exactly. So you have to pay attention to the interval length they have to be equal intervals. But if you treat everything's an equal interval, then that's fine because you can see that the distance from here to here is 3, from here to 3, and you're like, oh, the next distance must be 3 as well. But no, this one's 5.
Wait, that's 2 to 3, not 3.
Oh, 2.
Count either.
No, I meant to write down 8 here, so it's like 3, 3, and 5. The first 2 is 3, but I can add, but that's okay. It doesn't matter.
Wait, where?
I know. So you have to pay attention to they are different length, different distance. If you screw up a distance, then everything's wrong. But AP exam really prefer to have in regular intervals. So if it's trapezoid, then you're gonna be 8 plus 10 divided by 2 times 3, right? Plus 10 plus 12 over 2 times 2, plus 12 plus 14 over 2 times 5. So this will be a trapezoid. Now, let me ask you another question. If I were to use left end approximation, is this over or under approximation? If I were to use left end Riemann sum, is this over or under?
Why?
Yeah, because it's increasing, it's not decreasing, so
Yeah, so you gotta look at the output data too. The output data is increasing.
the opposite is what it was in the home.
So it will be, this case is under because if you use left end, it's gonna be under. So this is how I'm gonna playing game with you is to recognize, let you recognize the certain thing. And you have to analyze, okay, well, this function is going up. So I can say, well, if you use left end, it's gonna be under approximation. Yes, Miranda?
Wait, why is it under rising? Because isn't the slope increasing?
Yeah, because the function is going up, right? If you look at the data, it's going up. So if you use left end, guess what? It's always going to be under. You draw it, you know.
Wait, but are we doing that?
Yeah, but okay, so I'm just saying, I didn't hear my question. My question says, what if I ask you left end?
Oh.
Will that be over or under? If a trapezoid, in this case, might be, according to this, it could be possible linear equation because it doesn't have to be, but it could be possible linear equation. Then it will be exact, actually, if it's a linear. If it's straight line, then trapezoid is going to be exact. Yes. I have, people have questions. Hannah? Yes.
Do we need to calculate the information? Or we need to
Oh, okay. So let me tell you something really important. For the test, I'm gonna ask you to stop to here because you don't have time to do other stuff too. So this one is gonna be FRQ. Now, if FRQ, you should stop right here. You cannot just write an answer. If you write an answer, they actually don't give you credit. If you stop right here and you don't write an answer, they actually give you credit. Now, if it's MCQ, you have to figure out an answer because MCQ only have answer choice. So you have to single-handed add up every single one. For FRQ, you can really stop there. My test is always FRQ. Very rarely I give you an MCQ test. So this is how it is. Yes.
Are we gonna have to draw graphs on it?
Draw a graph? I don't know. Everything's fair game.
Am I gonna lose points on the test if I don't know how to draw a graph?
Well, so for the example like this questions right here, I mean, you have to learn how to draw, like question 6. And you're definitely gonna see some type of question like this. You have to figure out which one's larger, which one's smaller, and drawing actually help you. Now, if you can picture that as drawing, you don't have to draw it. You just have to find the right answer and justify it.
That's cool.
And
if we're just given like a table and we draw the graph, like we have to draw the graph, like would it be
you don't have to draw it. I just draw it to show you that you can see it visually. But if it's wasting you too much time, then you don't have to draw it. because the angle of the question is not asking you to draw the thing. The angle is like see if you know can you calculate out stuff. All right, so I will say this is probably the single. I need you to pay attention. This worksheet has a lot of pages, 5 pages. However, I'm going to tell you, this 5 page, if you understand everything in this 5 page, you should get 13 points out of 108, 13 to 14 points. And I'm talking about 13 points a lot because 13 points out of 108 is a big part of the exam. It's almost 12% of the exam. And you only needed to get 42 to pass with the 3. You need a 70 to pass with 5. You need a 55 points to pass with a 4. So you cannot do it without this one. And you don't have to be good at math. You don't have to be good at arithmetic. You just have to be good at writing stuff down, counting the rectangles, understand what I meant. So it's more intuitive rather than actually you have to do the physical math. So like Damien is bad at calculation. This is a point that you want to make sure you get every single thing here. Riemann sum, you got to get every single point there because those that doesn't require integrations or doesn't require derivative. Just require understand of integration and derivative. Those are different. I'm gonna start with first question. What do you think the first question? How would I approach this question? I want you to try it first before I teach you. It's on WhatsApp. It's already posted. From 0 to x. Let me write down here just to help you. The homework is only first 3 questions. Not a lot of homework. You can finish in this 5 minutes if you understand them. You just need to study for the Monday test.
No. Tuesday.
I say Monday.
Okay. I think you said Monday. Wait, you said what?
No, I'm just saying there's a possibility the printer is still broken.
Oh.
So you can like pray or like assign Samuel to sabotage the printer.
I'm gonna break it. I'm just gonna plug the printer.
I know how to plug back in. That part I know. Am I gonna go and misfeed the printer? What do you think H3 is? Can somebody figure out what do you think H3 is? Yes.
2.
No. Good try. I like it.
Good try.
What? What? No. Andy would get it.
Monsieur said he's dealing with some bitterness.
Almost.
Almost 12.
He's handling some drugs.
You are on the right track. You missed align things. You're on the right track though. Yes? No.
Wait.
Oh, wait a second. count the area here.
Well, it's like
You're right. You just miscounted them.
Did I?
What?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
11?
Line is not into 1.
Yeah, I didn't know how to count.
Yeah, at least I can count. Is there a way to like solve it?
So what I'm gonna do is, hey, this means h of 3, right? So that means you replace this with 3, right? So that means I'm gonna look for the area from here to here.
It's 11.
So 2.
So half an area.
I accidentally included the little long triangle at the end.
Okay, so that means just it's very intuitive. Because stop at 3, not stop at 4. Okay. So the next part is gonna be, hey, can you figure out what's h prime of 3 is equal to question mark? So what is h prime of 3? Now this one requires a little bit of understanding for FTC part 1 and part 2. So hopefully you can understand that.
Yeah, FTC. I guess we have the capital G first.
So it's this area.
Oh, sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Why is H in 311?
Because it stopped at 3. So this is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. This is only in half. So it's a half of 2, so it's 1. So it's 11. It's a triangle. Okay, let's see. Can somebody figure out what's h prime of 3? I think Jacob knows. Jacob, you want to give it a try?
0.
No. Yes.
Negative 2/3.
No. Hannah? 2 is correct. Good job, Hannah.
Oh,
Hannah's on
because that's the point.
Hannah's on the tier recently. She's got like 100 on like 2 tests in a row. So now I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna show you why they are. So if it's you think about this, right? H of x is equal to 0 to x of f of t dt. If I want an h prime of 3, that means I had to take a derivative of this side and derivative of this side. Does that make sense? And this side is going to become h prime of 3. This part is equal to d to the dx. Now I'm going to integrate this. That becomes a capital F of x. Remember? Fundamental theorem of calculus. And there are 2 layers, 1 and 2. 1 and 2. So if I take a derivative of this, it's going to be f of x, because derivative of capital F becomes non-capital F 0. Not 0, so 1. And times f of 0 minus f of 0 times 0. What's f0 times 0 is 0, right? So guess what? H prime of x is equal to f of x. We're going to use this for later. So h prime of 3 is equal to f of 3. And f of 3 is equal to 2. Now let me ask you, what's h double prime of? What's h double prime of 3? Yes, Emily?
-2.
Negative 2 is correct. Because This one, if I went ahead and take a derivative of this, so it'll be h double prime of x equal to f prime of x. That means I'm gonna figure out, well, this slope is equal to -2 because it goes down 2, right one. So that's gonna be h double prime of 2 is equal to -2. Does that make sense for everybody? Yeah, it's not hard. It's just like understanding, taking derivative of a notation. Take an integral of a notation. Because the slope is go down
That graph.
-2.
So a to x is like the integration of. So you can't like.
Okay. Now, C. Do you know what a C is? What is it, Kaden? 4 is correct. Good job. C. Oh no. Wait, yeah, C. Yeah, 4. So h of x. So they here is a subject. The subject is a h, right? They say h attain maximum. So in order to find out h attain maximum, so that means h of x, I need to take a derivative of that. Derivative in one from derivative, I'm looking at the increasing, decreasing, so I'm looking at h prime, right? If I look at h prime, that means I want to look for h prime of x change from positive to negative. Now, instead of h prime, we know h prime is equal to what? F of x, right? So instead of saying that, you can say f of x change from positive to negative. Does that make sense? So the changing from positive and negative is only in this point. This point here, that they went from positive to negative. So therefore, x is equal to 4. Wait, did I not answer B?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, let me answer B then. So B is what? 4 to 12. Yeah, because you're looking at basically h prime of x is less than 0, which is f of x is less than 0. That means it's f of x below x-axis. So therefore, it's a 4 to 12. Is that hard? Yes. It's not asking f. It's asking h. H of x. In order to ask h of x, so we need to know h prime of x. H prime of x is equal to f. F of x is same thing. So look at this, what we established here. F of x equal to h prime of x. So that means it's negative. If the negative is below x-axis, so it's actually from 4 to 12. If you say from 2 to the thing, 2 to let's say 2 to 6 is wrong, because 2 to 7 is actually just f of x is going down, not h of x is going down. So there's different subject that we're talking about. The last part. When did h attain its minimum? Well, we talk about minimum. Also, we're gonna also look at a following part question. Is this part minimum value? Minimum value is actually means lowest value in the intervals. Remember, the lowest value interval you had to find, that's called absolute. Every time we do absolute, we had to do a table. Do you remember that? We had to do a table, endpoint, and critical numbers. So I will show you that endpoint here. So I'm gonna do a table. And I'm gonna say it's x and y. Now, value means YU. That means the output. This is the input. What is the input? So they're asking both. So you must including the endpoints, 0 to 12. You also should including the critical point. That means when h prime of x is equal to 0, in this case it's a 4. So now when 0, what's h of 0? Can you guys tell me what's h of 0? No. 0, good. Because there is no area under the curve from 0 to 0. What is 0 to 4? Well, a lot of you guys miscalculate that was 11, but 4 is right here, so it's actually 12. Does that make sense? Well, that doesn't seem like a minimum value because it's already higher than 12. Minimum value happened at 12. Why? So this one is going to be x equal to 12. Why? Because after that, everything's a negative. So that's like if I want to find out what is h of 12, it's going to be from 0 to 4 of FTDT. That's the positive part. Plus from 4 to 11, or 4 to 12, sorry. We know this one is 11. Oh no, we know this one's 12. Now we have to figure out from 4 to 12. It's a 4 to 12 positive or negative? Negative, because it's below x-axis. So I'm going to break the two parts, right? I'm going to say a triangle, which is 6 and 3. So that makes 6 times 3 times half, which is 9. So from here to here is 9. Yes. Because 12 is going to give you the lowest value. I'm going to show you why they are the lowest value in a second. Because h of 0 is 0. There's no area in the curve. H to 4 is going to be here, which is 11. H to the 12 is going to give you some negative area like this part. So you got to figure out what that negative is. So here is going to be 6 plus 1 over 2 times 6 plus 1 over 2 times the width, which is 5. So that makes total is, I think this one is 26 point. This is a 7 over 2, 7 times 5. So it's going to be 35 over 2. So that means it's going to be minus 9 plus 35 over 2. So it will be 12 minus 53 over 2, which is end up to be negative 14.5. So negative 14.5 is your minimum value. 9 is basically from a triangle. This is 9, negative 9 actually. Your homework is gonna take like, if you understand, it's gonna take you like 5 minutes. You have to do 2 and 3. That's it. You don't have to do more. You can take a picture of this as a reference.
The only hard one is the FTC FRQ.
Tests are right now set on Monday, and let me sit down and think about it, okay?
Sounds good.
I'll let you know by today, because I can go find out what happened with the printer. Greenwald says printer is broken, but I think Greenwald just don't want to print a test.
David here.
He's not even here. He's gone today again?
Yeah, he's sick.
Huh?
He's sick.
So what's the people doing in that class?
No. No test, that's all that matters.
He's complaining me like I take the Veterans Days off. Well, you take like 20 days off. I'm sick. I'm sick, I'm still here.
Zero.